You're listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by. On the morning shift.
Anything
could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. I'm AJ Walsh. Glad to be here with you. Thankful that you're here with us. We've got a great show planned for you as usual. It's Monday, January the 8th, 2024. Time is rolling on. We're in the new year here. It's a brand new year. Lots to talk about. We didn't have a show on Friday. It was a technical issue, meaning a laptop was not brought from one studio to another. So that was the main laptop that runs all of the stuff that we put up on the screen, the things that we play during the show, everything that we show, whether it's the weather, any sports, any of the news from the internet, we show it on the screen. Well, any of the beginning of the show that we play, the intro, that's all on that computer. It was left. So it was my fault. It was a technical issue, I guess. That's what I had said. Excuse me, on Facebook. So I apologize for those who were on YouTube or were going to be joining us on YouTube. There was no message sent there, but yeah. So hopefully that doesn't happen too often anymore. It's just one of those things. It happens every once in a while. There's so many moving parts with the show. I got a text from Miles this morning saying, I hope you're going to talk about the Wolves. And how could I not talk about the Wolves? Great weekend this weekend. Fabulous. 2 amazing games. If you had a chance to see them, you know exactly what I'm talking about and what an amazing team we have this year. There's so much optimism. If there was any year to be optimistic about what this team could do here in Sudbury, it is this year. Hands down. So we'll talk a little bit about that. The Five are having an amazing beginning to their season as well. Unfortunately, they lost their first game of the season yesterday, but other than that, they were 3-0 going into that game. So Five are doing it well as well. But yeah, we'd definitely be talking about the Wolves right after the weather. I hope everyone had a great weekend. We're live right now on CKLU 96.7 FM. We're also streaming live at cklu.ca in audio format. You can take us with you and listen to us anytime, anywhere on your favorite device if you download the Radio Player Canada app. If you just click on it, you'll just be streaming us. Also, we're live on facebook.com/Sudbury News, youtube.com/Sudbury News, to make sure to like, share, subscribe, follow, but mainly comment, because the comments are working today. They work 99 out of 100% of the time, and they're working today. So we'll do our best to read them for those on the radio. We'll also do our best to get them up on the screen for anyone who is watching. And remember, if you can't catch the show live, you can go back and watch it afterwards on Facebook or YouTube as it lives there after the show on demand. So thanks for being with us. We've got a great show planned. We're going to dive right in. No rant today. We have a winter storm watch here in Sudbury and for most of Northern Ontario, and it's from Environment Canada. So we might as well dive right into that, see what that's going to entail for us. And then we'll get to sports quickly, and then your comments, news headlines, and a deep dive, I guess, today. It might be a huge deep dive, or, you'll just have to stick around for that, because there's a few deep dives I could be doing today, and I don't really want to paint myself into a corner with that. But anyways, we usually try to unpack local news. The mayor was on CBC this morning with Marcus Schwabe live, talking about the new or refurbished arena or events center downtown that they're today beginning the demolishing of the Lido hotel downtown, and other buildings are scheduled to be demolished afterwards. The buildings that they've been buying up and need to create space for whatever they're going to be building downtown. So the mayor promised that no matter what it is, it's going to look nice. It's going to be great for downtown. And it was something that had to be done, which I have to agree with him on most of it. It's just a matter of it being done properly. So far, so good. We'll be back with all of that and much, much more right after the weather. Stick around. It's going to be a great show, and you're part of it right after this. And your Sudbury weather is brought to you by sudburyweather.ca always. It lands on our Sudbury.news website, which is a news aggregator aggregating all of your local news into one convenient location. So winter storm watch in effect. It's currently -5 degrees, but it feels like -9. The watches for Greater Sudbury and vicinity. There could be up to 30 centimeters of snow, so it's 15 to 30 centimeters of snow with poor visibility in areas of heavy snow and blowing snow, hazardous travel conditions as well. So that's for tomorrow afternoon through Wednesday. That's what it currently is. Now, you know how weather is. Maybe it's going to be only Tuesday night through all of Wednesday. But for now, they're saying Tuesday afternoon through Wednesday. Heavy snowfall and blowing snow associated with major winter storm is expected to begin affecting northeastern Ontario Tuesday, with the worst conditions most likely Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Total snowfall amounts, like we said, 15 to 30 centimeters are possible. Gusting winds of up to 60 kilometers an hour will result in areas blowing snow, given poor visibility at times. This is a heads up to the potential development of an impactful winter storm over northeastern Ontario. The exact track of this weather system is still somewhat uncertain. And as a result, expected snowfall amounts may change, which I am hoping they change to the lesser, 15 centimeters or less. But that's just me. I know there's a lot of people saying, what are you talking about? I got my snow machine ready to go, got my skis. I want to get out and do some ice fishing. We need winter. I know. I hear you. But I was just hoping for just one winter to be very small and very less impactful on driving conditions per se, in general. So warnings may be issued as the event draws near, because this is just a watch at the moment. It's a watch. You know how they have the different levels of winter storms? It's a watch at the moment. Travel is expected to be hazardous due to reduced visibility in some locations. Surfaces such as highways, roads, walkways, and parking lots may become icy and slippery. Poor weather conditions may contribute to transportation delays. So for more information, just, look at your app, go to the Weather Channel, look at on Sudbury.news, go to the weather page. You can go to sudburyweather.ca. It'll go there too. Any news outlet's got the weather. You know how to get weather. But just keep your eye on it, because it could be messy. All right. So today it's cloudy with a 30% chance of flurries. Early this morning, wind up to 15 kilometers per hour, so not very windy. The temperature will be near -6. Wind chill near -11. Tonight, cloudy, 30% chance of flurries overnight. And the wind chill will be about -13. The low will be -8. Tuesday, cloudy with a 30% chance of flurries in the morning. Snow and local blowing snow beginning late in the morning. And then about 5 to 10 centimeters late in the morning. So they're already saying we're going to get some snow tomorrow morning, even before this system hits us. The high will be -3, wind chill near -12. So milder, a little milder. Little look at your long range 6-day forecast. Snow tomorrow, -3. Flurries Wednesday, high of -3. 60% chance of flurries again on Thursday, high of -9. So there's a lot of flurries in this forecast. High of -12 with a mix of sun and cloud on Friday. 40% chance of flurries on both Saturday and Sunday. High of -11 and -12 Saturday and Sunday. That is the look at your extended forecast, and a look at your satellite for those on the radio. There's a lot of clearing up around Thunder Bay towards the middle of Ontario and north, and then cloud covered central and northern Ontario to the east. But there is a system coming across the United States from the west. But again, that could dip below us, the major part of that, and go more into the snow belt. And it might miss this general area. That's what I'm hoping anyways. Not hoping that anyone else gets it. I'm hoping no one would get it, but it is what it is. That's your Sudbury. That's your weather, brought to you by SudburyWeather.ca. We'll be back with a little bit of sports and more right after this. Stick with us. Sudbury Sports, brought to you by SudburySports.ca. It lands right on our Sudbury.news website. And that's where you can catch all of your, get all your information that you need from Sudbury news and sports. It's all there. News, weather, sports at Sudbury.news. Sudbury Wolves in action on Friday night, facing off against the Brantford Bulldogs, formerly the Hamilton Bulldogs. They were neck and neck on for their division lead, and a win from Brantford would have put them on top. A win from Sudbury would have put them on top. So it was an important game, and what a game it was. Hard fought. Was there for the game. Great atmosphere, great music, tons of little ones. And I think that's been what I've noticed this year at the arena. Just the little ones in the crowd, just adding. They're so vibrant. They get up and dance in the middle. They get on the Jumbotron a lot, and so they want to get their video on the Jumbotron. They got a lot of really cool things in between the plays for them to do. It's really interactive. And the sound, this is a shout out to Billy, who is incredibly talented and part of the sound team at the Sudbury Arena. The sound these days at the Sudbury Arena is unprecedented compared to what you are used to. Even though it's an old building, even though it has the most terrible acoustics on planet Earth, they got some really great sound. So now that's the atmosphere it was. But the atmosphere on the ice was even better. They ended up beating the Brantford Bulldogs 7-4. And then what I thought was, they're going to, the next night on Saturday, they're going to come out and they're going to be really tired. And, they're facing the number one team in the OHL. They're going to be a little too tired to get her done. And that's what it looked like after the first period. 4-1 for the Kitchener Rangers, number one team in the league. And second period, I guess Sudbury decided to put in Nate Krawchuk, who had not seen action for like a month. And he, in my opinion, I told Dario this not last year, but the year before, I believe, or at least at the beginning of last season, that is your goalie. You need to go with him. He's young, but he can do it, and he's got so much life in him that you're gonna develop him. If you make him your number one, he's gonna be like a Carey Price kind of goalie. But I guess I'm an amateur, and anyways, I guess the person I should have been talking with was Rob Papineau. He just showed it again. He came in the second period. The game went to 5-2. And after that, it was pretty much all Sudbury Wolves. They ended up beating the Kitchener Rangers 7-5. 7-5. Just incredible comeback. They added an empty net goal at the end, basically, to seal the deal. But if you hadn't had a chance to see the Sudbury Wolves this year, you got to get out, and you got a chance this Wednesday. They're in town against Mississauga and another top team. So these were two top teams they beat, and Mississauga is also up in the standings. And so if they're able to beat Mississauga, I think it's just going to do so much for their confidence. And anyways, also Sudbury 5 in action in Montreal last night, ended up losing the game, unfortunately. However, they'll be back in action this Friday at the Sudbury Arena, so make sure to get your tickets. This Wednesday, Sudbury Wolves. This Friday, Sudbury 5, who have a 4-1 record, 4 wins, 1 loss so far on the season. It's really important for just community spirit to get out and enjoy a family-friendly event, and what better than hockey and basketball. It is the season. Might as well take advantage of it. And they've been drawing some really great crowds. Parking, sure, it's still an issue. Do your best to find some parking, but other than that, it's worth it. You might have to park downtown and walk 2 blocks or whatever. But we were able to find parking Friday night, and the game was packed right on Lisgar or Larch or whatever, and had to walk a bit. So that's your Sudbury Sports. Brought to you by SudburySports.ca. We'll be back with news headlines, your comments, and much, much more right after this. All right, and we are indeed back. A lot of people joining us so far today. Looks like usually when we miss a day, it's less people on at the beginning of the show, but not today. Good morning, Monique. Good morning, Sudbury. Smiley emoji. Very much appreciated. Good morning, Judy. Right here on Facebook. Hope you're having a great morning, along with Maurice. Good morning. Smiley emoji as well. I'll be getting some reading classes. They should be coming in about 3 weeks or so. And so, oh man, this is going to be such an easier task to read the comments on the screen. Some days my eyes are better than others. I can't even tell if they're just smiley emojis or sunshine emojis. Not that it matters. It's positive either way. Belinda, good morning. She usually has a positive statement of the day, which I will pass on to everyone else. It is being blocked, banned, hidden, censored, deleted, or ignored. It's worth, if it's being all those things, blocked, banned, hidden, censored, deleted, or ignored, it's worth looking into. Keep digging and search for the truth. 100%. That's the whole reason for journalism. I would think that's what the idea was supposed to be anyways. Back in the day, journalism. Remember what we thought it used to be? When people would do that and then deliver what we thought was the truth to us by just asking the 5 W's and H of good reporting. That's all it takes is questions. And if you keep asking enough questions, you'll eventually find what you're looking for, or maybe not what you're looking for, but you find the truth, right? Maybe not something you like is what I meant to say, but you'll find the truth. Good morning, everyone, from Barry. Hand clap and smiley emoji, much appreciated, and liked and shared. And that is from Marianne. Thank you very much, Marianne. Also saying they are demolishing a building full of asbestos. Possibly. Yes, I believe there would be asbestos in the Lido Hotel, given when it was built. I would more than likely surmise. That's something that they'll have to make sure they do properly. And Liette says, good morning, Sudbury. Good morning, Liette. Thanks for being with us. Chris, good morning. Ladies and gents, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us this morning, Chris. Denise, good morning from Espanola. Espanola in the news this morning with the new Union Action Center that they have right here on Center Street in Espanola. And helping out the former employees of Domtar to try and find new employment. We'll share a little bit more on that in a minute. 2 major factors. This is Marianne. 1, it's costly to remove, and that's asbestos. 2, asbestos causes cancer. That is very correct. So they definitely have to, and I'm sure they're going to take whatever protocol they have to make sure this happens. Someone I might not have noticed before or whatever. Okay, so pronunciation of your first name or your handle here, D. Allen. Good morning. Hope you're having a good morning. Welcome to the show, Joanne as well. Jerome, Joanne. Hey, not much need for the reading glasses. They're coming soon. Good morning, all. This is from Jerome. In orientation this morning for smelter shutdown, cash is king. Use it. Don't let your cash be discriminated against. Oh, I guess you've been having some cash discrimination going on these days, Jerome. I understand. I don't think cash is going to be around much longer. That's just, I guess, the plan. And the reason why I say it is I go to get gas now in Sault Ste. Marie over the holidays, and they say it's only pay at the pump. And then I had a gift card for gas, and I was like, how do I use this? There's no way to use it at the pump when you prepay at the pump with the gift card. This particular gift card that I had anyways. And even getting the points, your points for whatever, it's not clear on how to get your points. It should just be tap, simple, or insert your card to get your points, but it's not. I think it says call a 1-800 number or something for points. If anyone has the skinny on getting points when you have to prepay for gas at the pump, let me know, please. But I digress. The whole thing is that no cash. You can't pay cash when you have to prepay at the pumps. And so corporations, you need gas, right? What are you going to do? Have an argument with the person at the counter saying, what? I have to prepay at the pump? So anyways, I go to go inside and see if there's any way I can get this gift card used. And there's a big sign on the door that says, we do not take money for gas. You have to pay at the pump. So basically it says, pay at the pump only. You cannot pay inside. So that's our future, right? And it's done through these corporations that just make this the way it's done. And you have to, if you want gas, you can't pay by cash anymore, right? Unless you don't use gas, then you don't need cash. I mean, if you don't need gas, then you can't use cash to pay for gas. It's terrible. But it is what it is. You can see the trend happening these days. I won't give my money that will be taxed to feed the machine. We should be pulling our money from the machine. My thoughts. Yeah, no, what do you do? Like, what are we going to do in this age where it's, they're going to a digital centralized digital currency, right? CBDCs. That's what their plan is to do anyways. They want to institute this in the next couple of years and get rid of the cash you hold in your hand. And, hey, look at this. Aaron, good morning, man. Thanks for being on. You might not still be on. I'm not sure. You might have just checked in for a bit. But thanks for joining us. First time I've seen you on. We have to get out for lunch at some point. I was just thinking about you this morning. It's funny that you jumped on this morning. Yes. Heard they are implementing a news tax. Really? Or does that say a new tax? The DST, digital sales tax. So a new tax, not a news tax. Just in case. I know it's hard sometimes when you said new. Exactly. But hey, you know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised. They just tax everything anyways, right? Denise says Liberals announce legislation that sets stage for a digital services tax, November the 28th, 2023. New digital tax services or new digital services tax will raise the price for things like Netflix, Amazon, Spotify. As the U.S. threatens retaliation over digital taxes, Canada waits for the OECD talks. Okay, and there's a link there. So if anyone's interested, just click on that link and you're good to go. Um, Jerome says venues like the Sudbury Arena and their cashless pay are lining up for discrimination lawsuits. Okay, and again, right? It's just I feel bad somewhat. I was at Cambrian the other day, and I had to go there, and they had the where you just get the app on your phone and you pay parking on your app. At first, I was taken back and I was like, I had to download this thing. I had to enter all my information in. The first time I used I had to use it. I went to the courthouse and they had you can only do this app thing, or you could still pay with your money. But I thought I got to do this app thing anyways, just to see how it works. So anyways, but it took a good 15 minutes for me to download this app, put all my information in it, get my license plate, put my credit card information in, just to park. Now, once that was done, however, and if I'm using the same car, it's got the same license plate number in it, I'm then able to use it afterwards a lot more conveniently. And that was when I was at Cambrian the other day. They had this thing, you use the app, this hotspot app. So I get on it. I'm like, I hope I have the same car. Luckily, I did, had the same license plate. And all I did was put in the time. I put in whatever number it was that it told me on the sign for the parking. And bingo, it took less than a minute or whatever, a couple seconds. And I was like, hey, this is really convenient, talking to my brother. And he said, yeah, but what if you were like 75 years old or whatever? And how would that have been? I said, yeah, exactly. So it's convenient and it's easy for a lot of us, but not so much for a lot of other people. And that would be, I could say, in the category of discrimination for sure. There's a lot of people that their education on technology just isn't there yet for us to be able to have it carte blanche, just everything digital. But again, we're going there very fast, and we'll see how everything goes. I'm wondering, this is Belinda, I'm wondering if council took into consideration the taxes we are paying in Ontario when they decided to take on these buildings to demolish for parking. So many people are going without these days. Was this really a priority? No, I don't think it was just for parking. I think they're going to do a parking structure, which was an amazing thing that I heard the mayor say today. If you're going to talk about, sure, there's a lot of bad things that you could concentrate on or focus on with what's happened with the buildings that were purchased from the city, by the city. But they said they more than likely are going to put a parking structure in, is what they do need downtown if we're going to be driving vehicles still. I know the federal Liberal government wishes we weren't driving any vehicles at all. And, maybe as a community shared one electric vehicle or something. But at the same time, reality is that I hope, anyways, that a lot of us are still going to be driving cars in the near future. And we would need parking if we were going to go down and enjoy any entertainment that would come from any new edifice that was built downtown. And we would need a parking structure to accommodate. So I was grateful to hear it. It's the first time I heard anyone from the city mention parking structure. That was the fact that we're probably going to build one, not just, oh, it's too expensive and who's going to build it and where is it going to go and all this stuff. So positive there. Not to mention lawsuits coming for council. Interesting. That's Jerome as well. Marianne says, lots of arenas are going cashless. I say make them go clientless. That's funny. Good one there. Denise says, anything card, points, cards, all of it is a game. Correct. Yes. And unfortunately, I do have points cards, and I'm sure most of the people listening on the radio or watching this also have points cards. It's again, right? We still have to live in the world, even though we know a lot of it is a sham. A lot of the world is a sham. If that's the first time you've ever heard this, then hey, it's the first time you've heard it. There's a lot of stuff out there you got to sort through and make sense of. Okay, so what is this? Okay. So there's another substance that's common in walls of institutions and commercial buildings 40 to 60% or 40 to 60 years ago. This is Miles. It has a very small percentage of asbestos in it, but still needs to be handled safely in renovations, taking down buildings. Yes, whatever that word is it vermiculite? If I can't. My eyes are so terrible today. New words are not my friend. Digital currency is all about controlling the masses. Definitely, there's a lot of control elements to digital currency. When somebody can just access all that data with cash, it's hard to know if AJ was out at wherever and paid for whatever. It's harder to track that. But digital currency, you can track every single purchase that any particular person makes at any particular time. If you have the power, if you're in authority to track those things, you can. And that's a bit of the danger. Arenas are Rome's money pits that they got the kids from community rinks into arenas. Commodity, I don't care for the sports, the millions of paid vets starving. Okay, so I'll just sum that up. Sports is a big whatever, and you're not a sports fan. I could see that. But yeah, I understand sports can be taken too far sometimes. And if your life becomes just sports and you forget about everything else. However, as an athlete, I do appreciate sports so much just by playing it. There's so much to learn. There's so much positivity. And again, if it's turning into a commodity and used for other purposes, well, then that's not so great. But sports itself is very good and it taught me a lot of things in life, transferable skills. So from taxes to unjust fees, they suck us dry. Consumerism feeds the machine and the military. I'll just add industrial complex to that military complex. It's going to be a fun summer. This is to Mike and Nat. So yeah, a lot of construction, I guess, downtown. It'll just be a construction zone for the next 2 years downtown. Be interesting for sure. Judy says, I don't believe one word the mayor says. Okay, sounds like you're not a fan. Monique, good rising, Monique. Thanks for joining us. Morning, Vin. On a little bit later, which is better than not being on. Much appreciated. Wow, you have no cards and you empty your account. That's interesting, Denise. Wow, that's commendable that you're able to do that in some ways. I hope the benefits of parking downtown outweighs the cost of buying these buildings and the cost of demolishing these buildings. Worth it? That's the big question. Will it be a big pay off? Will it be a big payoff? We'll have to see. Again, the future. Again, newer buildings in communities is something communities have to do. Infrastructure, right? It's nothing new. I mean, it's a very aged Sudbury Arena. Not so bad though. I was in there and I was kind of looking around, going, "It's not so bad," but it's the oldest building in the OHL. Oh, thanks. I pronounced that word correct, Miles. I appreciate it. Okay, so community sports rock. I got it. Yeah, exactly. At the community level. Appreciate it. I know that the professional sports is made into, it's a spectacle to some degree, but at the same time, where do you go if you're really good and you really play really good and a lot of people want to watch you because you're good? I mean, there's got to be a professional sport at every level for every sport, right? You would think, if you want to continue in the sports. It's awesome. You're living outside the matrix. That's probably to Denise. That's from Marianne. Liette says centralized digital currency is not a legal tender. It's a form of exchange backed by nothing and that will be controlled and shut down at whim by those in control. And you are so right on that. And that's the dark side of central digital currency that is planned to roll out to a theater near you soon. Uh, it's a global initiative that Canada has embraced because Canada, the people that are in power in Canada embrace globalism and get their orders, as it seems, from others that are unelected that are from a more global perspective and global think tanks and things like that. UN comes to mind, the WHO, the WEF, all of these organizations. They definitely take their marching orders from someone else other than themselves or the citizens of this country. And I'll go toe to toe with anyone who tends to disagree with that. I have one account and keep no more than $12 in it monthly. Oh, interesting. Again, you're able to do it too. That's interesting. Cool. All right, so let's get to a little bit of headlines. Wow, look at the time already. Guys, we're very talkative today. Much appreciated. Let's just head to Sudbury.news here. And as we talked about earlier, the headlines here from CBC, not only was I even listened to the interview with the mayor from this studio here after I got out of my car because I wanted to hear the mayor speaking. I had to listen to 2 commercials, though, on CBC Listen Live, which I'm wondering, they have commercials that I have to listen to, even though I'm paying for it already through my tax dollars. It's $1.5 billion of our tax dollars going to the CBC. But yet I got to listen to commercials before I can hear it. So I missed a bit of the interview with the mayor, and he might have said something that might have been something we could have been discussing on the show, but I had to listen to commercials first. Interesting anyways. Unifor Action Center in Espanola helping former Domtar workers find new employment and help cope with job loss. A new action center in Espanola is helping laid off Domtar paper mill workers transition and find new employment opportunities through workshops, information sessions, and counseling services. More than 450 employees either have lost or will lose their job as the mill shuts down production. So that's located right on Center Street. If you are a Domtar employee, you already know about this. You've been contacted through the union already. Take advantage of it. They will refer you to the right people, the experts to help you in what you need. So it's definitely worth a visit there. Pasta dinner at Overtime Sports Bar and Grill to support Inner City Home. Proceeds will help the organization stock shelves of the food bank. Again, a really great cause. Get out, support it. That story coming from the Sudbury Star. Just click on it to learn where and when this event will be. I know they had a break-in very recently that people were very generous in helping them overcome what they lost from that break-in. Good morning, Denise. Thanks for being on. So Cambrian College is hosting a robotics competition. All you geeks out there, you would already know about this. Teams from across Northern Ontario or across Ontario will compete in the E-Dome at Cambrian College this weekend. Franz Jelena in the news from the Sudbury Star. She is the NDP health critic in Ontario. Says Ford is ignoring alarm bell on cancer surgery delays. NDP urges Conservatives to stop withholding billions from healthcare. Interesting. So again, this idea of just more money, I don't know. I think it's way bigger than that. Just throwing money at our healthcare system. It's like throwing water on people that are in the water of a shipwreck or something, hoping it's going to help them. I don't know. That's just a dumb analogy that just came to me. But it really is throwing money at a broken system. And in my view, it's broken. And if anyone goes to emerge or uses our hospitals or whatever on a consistent basis would more than likely agree. The hundreds of people that I spoke to about it agree with that. There are a few people out there, however, who enjoy and get a lot out of the healthcare system the way that it is set up, and it serves them well, and that's great. Most people feel that it's poorly run. It's way too bloated. They don't feel like a human being when they're being served. Uh, Doctors are just, what's the word? Gatekeepers. So let's say I feel I need an MRI. I want to get an MRI because there's an MRI. Well, you can't just go get an MRI. You got to go to your doctor first, and then they have to refer you if they feel you need an MRI. You have to convince them you need one. Kind of like a gatekeeper. Whereas, let's just say the MRI cost $100. It costs more than that, but let's just say $100. And then you call and say, I'd like to book an appointment for the MRI, please. That'll be $100. Okay. I'd like to pay cash. Oh, sorry, you can't. You have to just use digital. That's just going back to our previous conversation. Anyways, you pay for it nonetheless. And you get an MRI. That's the way it should be. And you get the printout. But no, our healthcare system, our wonderful prepaid, if you will, healthcare system through tax dollars is set up. You have to go see your doctor. The doctor has to be convinced that you need an MRI. Then they say, no, we need to do an ultrasound first because MRI is very busy. And we need to eliminate all of the things that it could be first before you go see an MRI, which an MRI will tell you right away what you have, more than likely. It's a great way to scan your whole body and pinpoint a lot of things in one shot. So why wouldn't you go to an MRI first? You should almost go to the MRI and then bring your findings to your doctor. And then the doctor says, oh, I see you have this. So let's go to an expert. Let's go to the specialist. It's not how it works. You go see your general practitioner or nurse practitioner, and then they send you for all the tests first. You know what's up with that, though? All those tests they send you for before you go to the MRI cost money. And it makes money because every time they swipe your health card, it's like a freaking debit card. But it's all prepaid. It's all paid by you. And there's we'll just throw more money at it. Let's just see. We'll just keep throwing more money at it, and somehow it'll fix it, according to Franz Jelena. And delays. Talk about delays. I don't think she stood up when there were delays due to COVID. We need to get people in surgery. Who cares? It is what it is. Doctors have to face this kind of thing, and if they've always done it in other pandemics, doctors have gone in to ground zero and had to do things. That's what, it's part of being a healthcare professional. You put yourself there. But surgeries were all canceled and people died because they couldn't get surgeries because of COVID. They might get COVID. That's why they died. Well, it's a good thing they died of cancer, or they died of kidney failure, or they died of whatever instead of COVID. Can you imagine if they got COVID and died of that? At least they died of something else. Made no sense. Still makes no sense. And now there's a huge backlog. There already are backlogs because of our socialized healthcare, broken healthcare system. Huge backlogs of people waiting to get surgeries. But Franz Jelena feels if we spent billions of dollars not changing procedures or changing the way we do it, that somehow this would help. I'd have to say I disagree. Okay. Oh, yeah, an interesting thing here, talking about socialized healthcare or socialism. Dawn, who contributes so much material to this show via email, which we so appreciate, sent, you remember Ann Landers back in the day? Ann Landers. You write her and you say, hey, I got this problem or whatever. and she'd help you with it. Before social media, you write her, and then she might talk about your particular story in her column. Well, anyways, this is it says, "Dear Anne, I'm an English teacher, and my students are reading George Orwell's 1984. I'm having a difficult time explaining communism, socialism, and fascism without giving a time continuum history lesson, time consuming history lesson. I recall you printed a humorous explanation about the concept using cows. Will you please print it again? I'm sure I will. I'm sure it will kickstart a lively class discussion, right? It's an oldie but a goodie. So basically, so she reposted her analogy of the different isms, like capitalism, socialism, communism, which we talk about at length on this show, right? That there's different ways to govern countries. There's different systems. We have a socialist healthcare system, right? Socialism, socialized healthcare, and it is what it is. It can be good. It can be bad. It is what it is. But again, what does that even mean? What is socialism? I don't think a lot of people even understand what it is. They hear it and think, yeah, I like socialism. It sounds great. Isn't that what Bernie Sanders talks about? Yeah, exactly. Right. So socialism in a just kind of humorous, simplified way, using cows, says socialism. You have 2 cows and you give 1 cow to your neighbor. Socialism. Communism. You have 2 cows, you give both cows to the government, and they give you some milk. Communism. You have 2 cows, you give both cows to the government, and they give you some milk. And that's what I thought. That's where we're going in this country, right? Just take all my money and give me an allowance is where we're going. So I got 2 cows, give them to the government, and they give you some milk. Same idea. That's where we're heading. Fascism. You have 2 cows. You give all the milk to the government, and the government sells it. Nazism. So fascism is you have 2 cows, you give all of the milk to the government, and the government sells it because it's government, it's private and public working together. Governments and corporations basically like governing you. So that's why they're going to sell it and make money from it. Nazism, you have 2 cows, the government shoots you and takes both cows. It's pretty straightforward. Anarchism, a lot of people there, yeah, we don't need government, we don't need no laws, we don't need nothing. That's anarchism. You have 2 cows, you keep both cows, but the government agent, you keep both cows, you shoot the government agent and steal another cow, right? Because it's anarchism, there's no laws, and you're against the government. So you have 2 cows, you shoot the government agent who's coming to tell you what to do with your cows, and you steal another cow because there's no law. Anarchism. Capitalism. You have 2 cows, you sell one, and you buy a bull. So there you go. It's oversimplified, bit humorous, but it kind of explains the isms of the socialism, communism, fascism, Nazism, anarchism, and capitalism. Now, there's other isms out there, and we understand that we have a huge movement that's totally against capitalism these days. Capitalism is the devil being taught in our education system all around. That's why you hear a lot of people talking about it now, because it's been taught in our education system for the last 30 years or more, right? So you got all these people who've come through that, come through education. They hate capitalism. They don't really understand it, but they just know they were taught it. And there was a lot of scholars that supposedly proved that capitalism is the worst thing that's ever happened to the world. And I think it was Winston Churchill who said, oh, yeah, capitalism is the worst thing that ever happened until you see the alternatives, you know. So, again, you can rail on it all you want. But a nice little humorous tidbit there from Dawn. Thanks, Dawn. Much appreciated. And Ann Landers. So we're coming up on the end of the show here, guys. Just seeing if there's any other. Sudbury area adds 300 jobs in December, according to Stats Canada, and that's all these percentages and data that you really do need to unpack. You can't just really have the headlines, but if you want more on that, it's in the Sudbury Star. You can read it. Aggregates right here on our Sudbury.news website, where CTV also has stories here you can check out. Okay, and this might be a deep dive this week. Parents weigh in on giving consent for children changing their names or pronouns at school, a legal challenge to Saskatchewan's new law requiring parental consent if children under 16 want to change their names or pronouns at school. It's back in court this week. So I have a video that's kind of queued up for that deep dive coming up. Again, it's back. The discussion about minors being able to choose not only their genders, choose their pronouns and what names they want to be called at school. And the controversy here, or the debate, are that some parents feel they should be informed if their child no longer wants to be gendered as a he or a her, and now they're going to switch their gender to the opposite or become a they, or whatever pronoun they want. The parents should be notified about it, but the schools say maybe the home is not a safe place. So the schools become the safe place, right? So here you have an ism. What kind of ism does that fall under? Where the state has more power over your children than parents do. So you can look that up, of what ism that falls under in a governance format of our country, a way to govern the country. If the country believes that the schools should have the right more than the parents, what kind of ism is that? Humanitarianism. Oh, interesting. Cool. So that's a question for all y'all, but it is in the news. And what are your thoughts on that? Do you think, the schools should dictate, or, be more of the role model for your children more than your parents? And should they be withholding information like this from your parents? Or should parents have the say? It's like, I know someone who's very close to me who said that her 2-year-old son, I said, oh, what are you having for supper? She said, I'm having this, that, and the other. And I said, oh, how come? Oh, because that's what he said he wanted. I was like, oh, really? My goodness. Well, if I was that age, I'd say chocolate cake for supper. Then I'd say, and for dessert, I'll have a donut and a chocolate milk to wash it down. Okay. So should that be the way it's done? Or should parents have some type of ability to maybe hold things at bay until people are old enough maybe to make a more, in this case, a little bit more nutritious of a decision of what to eat, if, and then, at any given moment, you'd say, what do you want to do with your life? He wants to be a fireman one day, a policeman, an astronaut. It changes by the day. It depends on what he's playing with at the time or what movies he might be watching, but there comes a time when your brain has to develop to a certain extent to make big decisions in life. And I would think what your gender is definitely a big decision. It's going to affect everything in your life. 100%, 100 and million %, if that's even a thing, right? So your brain should be developed when you start making big decisions. What career you want to make, who you're going to spend your life with, what partners you're going to have, where you want to live, buying a house, all kinds of things. And gender is up there. And you would hope that your brain would be developed, right? So anyways, there's the debate, the great debate going on. And there's major lobbyist groups behind a lot of this because they have things to gain from it, right? And that's okay. And that's fine. It's great to have this particular debate. Anyways, let's hope we can have it, though. Let's just hope it's not, the conversation isn't shut down from just asking just questions that's on everyone's mind. Thanks for joining us today, everyone. It's been a great show. We'll be back, God willing, same time, same place tomorrow. Have a wonderful Monday, beginning to your work week. If you're working, beginning to your week, nonetheless. Stay tuned now for Earshot Daily on CKLU 96.7 FM. And have a safe and wonderful Monday, everyone. Thanks for participating. There's been so many comments in the chat. I can't wait to read them later. Much appreciated. Keep them coming, and we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a wonderful Monday, everyone. Ciao.
This is Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.